archery there's 4 types of bows: the recurve, the compound, the longbow and the crossbow. Now I've got a selection of recurves and compounds down with me. I'll have to wait till lockdown's over until go to the centre to check out the longbow and crossbow. When that happens, I'll be able to make a more detailed video, so look out for that. Now, parts of the bows is the recurve. Between my fingers is the riser. Again, you get various sizes. At the minute, the one on my hand now is a junior one. So again, there's a big difference in sizes. You got the limbs, which are the arms of the bow. The string, the knocking point, up you see there. Your arrow goes underneath that to give it more stability. The arrow rest, and so on. That's basically the ends of the recurve. Now with the compound, again you get the same thing. You've got the risers, you've got the limbs, and then you have the wheels. Now these are called cams. What these do is when you pull back on a recurve, you have all that momentum in your arms. With a compound, let me show you for a minute. If I pull it back, all that tension is now in the cams. I can now hold this for as long as my arm can stay up, which is fairly good, to be honest. Again, knocking points, I mean we can put sights on this if we wanted to. I've got a recurve here that's got sights already built on, so I think we can change these up and down if we wanted to, change it around and all so on. I've got quite a selection of arrows here to show you. We have the wooden arrows, the aluminium arrows and the carbon arrows. Now with the wooden arrows, these are used for recurve. I would not recommend using them for a compound, mostly because they will bloody break. I've tried it before. Now with me, I've got 2 different types of wooden arrows. If you can hear me over the noise over there. 2 different types of arrows. One is my competition arrows and one is for practicing with. The competition arrows I have, put back in there for now. With the competition arrows I have, there is feather fletchings. They pull apart. They are a little bit expensive than plastic ones. I think these are like, I don't know, £6 for 12. So I get 4 arrows out of it. Points are completely different as well than the plastic ones. I would not recommend using these for practicing with. With the practice ones I have, plastic fletchings, very durable, very, very cheap. Again, the point, there's no real point on there, that we're practicing with. Now, if we go on to the carbon arrows, these are the ones I use for my low poundage compound. Plastic fletchings, and the point, again, there's no real point on there. Now, try and put that back in there. Next is the aluminium. Now, aluminium, that's already got a bend in it, but you can't really bend it as much as the carbon. Again, plastic fletchings. You can put feather fletchings on this one if you wanted to, but I think the plastic ones work well as well. Again, these do have a point on because they're for competitions, and again, I would not recommend using them for shooting at clubs. Oh, hello. You helping me out? Okay. Good go. Another thing are the nocks. Again, you can't see because I'm wearing red. Nocks. This is where the bowstring sits. Again, you have different types. For example, with this that's out. With my practice one, it's just a simple. Can you see that? One. Same with the carbon. There's no real knock on there. And with the aluminium. Different knocks, different points, different style of arrows. Now, this is what the artists call them. They're technically targets. I'll try and put some pictures on so you know what I'm on about. There's 3 different types of targets you've got. There is the 3D targets, the foam targets and the straw targets. And each of these targets have different faces on. Unless they're a 3D target, then they don't need one. Now faces, these could come in a range of things. If you've been shooting at a club or going to shoot a club, then this is what you'd normally see. That's normally what you shoot at. Point ratio go from 1 all the way to 10. Okay there? Doing out in a minute. That's what you normally shoot at a club. Now animal faces, this is what you normally do with field archery, that I'll get onto later on in the video. But with field archery we get killer little rabbits and foxes and other things like that. Luckily they're not real, because if they weren't I would not be in the sport. We have the inner kill that I've circled here, like you probably just see. That's the inner kill. Then you've got the other kill and then the wound. Again, I'll talk more about that when time comes. Now, backdrops. Backdrops are very, very important when you're shooting. I've got my backdrop up already, ready to shoot later on. In clubs, we will have a net that goes across the entire shooting range. That can range from 30 foot to 50 foot. And they're very, very heavy and very, very heavy duty. Still would not recommend shooting a compound with them. You're very loud, aren't you? Hey? But I wouldn't recommend doing that. Now the equipment they actually uses ranges from finger tabs to gloves to arm guards, quivers, knives, whistles and arrow cleaner. I'll get around that. At the minute I'm wearing a quiver. This is where the arrows are kept and most of the equipment. Quiver. In here we've got the arrows, we have a whistle. Now every archer over the age of 16, if you are doing field archery, would recommend carrying a whistle. 2 puffs on the whistle means that everything stops and the field marshal will come out and find out what the trouble is. Say you're missing an arrow or you've had a near miss or something like that. Now, a knife. No one on the age of 16, no one, especially under the age of 16, should carry a knife. I always carry mine, my dad carries his, to get arrows out of trees. Nothing else, that's the only reason you would need a knife. We also have in this pocket a arrow puller. This is when the aluminium arrows, these big thick ones for the compound, get stuck in trees, and you're going to need something to pull them out with, because pulling them out with trees is very, very difficult. We've also got a arrow finder. It's basically a long stick. This is used to get arrows out of long grass. You know, find them in long grass, find them in trees in this. And then we also have an arrow cleaner. Very, very pink and fluffy. It's not pink, it's fluorescent yellow or green, or whatever you want to call it. Like the hoods on the waterproofs. Now, an arrow cleaner, not really important, but if you're shooting and you get crap on your arrow, you shot a tree or it's gone through mud, simple, quick click, and then back in the arrow rest. Simple as well. Finger tabs and gloves. These can be very important, or they don't have to be really important. For example, I've never used a tab or I've never used a glove, but they are there in case you need them. Now with a tab, this is just this piece of leather, plastic leather. What you do is middle finger in, and then it just goes like that. It's in your hand, simple as that. Now what this does is it stops your fingers getting hurt. You know, you hold it like this with the string, pull it back, and you're fine. I'm not shooting, don't worry. Yep, God, you're beautiful. Love you. With a glove, I can never use gloves because it's too big for me. It's the same thing. Around again, this is not going to fit me because my hands are just too small, sort of thing, and so on. So you can walk around freely with this on and have to keep holding it. Again, it's the same thing. You know, it just stops your fingers getting hurt after a long shoe. With arm guards, you can have different types. These two we've got here, usually made of plastic or leather. Now what an arm guard does is protects your arm from string slap. I'll get more onto that later on. Now, put that down there. What you do with these, you just undo them and you put that on your arm, open the bracelets, sort of thing, like that. I would recommend using one of these. Your ears are beautiful, you know that. I keep seeing it in the camera. Everyone loves you, you know that. As long as you know that. Your ears are bless you. Sort of thing. But yes, I've been doing it for over a decade now, so I know what to expect. Even I still get string slap, but I just can't deal with having one on. but you get different types. This is a forearm one. My friend, when she used to do it, she had a full length arm. Those are a little bit more expensive. I think the cheapest ones I've seen are £25. YouTube loves you, love. YouTube loves you. Jules, I'm trying to do a video here. What are you doing? Having fun? Can I get my video now? I just want to go over some safety rules before we start shooting. These are very, very important, and if I am coaching you, then I would really expect you to listen to me. Saying that, the first rule I have is always obey the rules. If I tell you to do something, I expect you to do it. If I tell you not to do something, then I expect you not to do it. Archery is a very, very dangerous sport, and if you can't take it seriously, then there's no point in me in that. Secondly, always listen to your coach, whether it's me, my fellow coaches, or any other coach in the country who's teaching archery. Even though I look like a 16-year-old girl who's no idea what I'm doing in my life and just got out of school, trust me, I've been doing this long enough to know how dangerous it is and what to do. Thirdly, is always respect other people's equipment. Now, usually when I'm teaching, I'll take my personal bows, my personal arrows, my personal equipment, everything I need. My personal equipment. In normal clubs, they would have their own equipment, their own arrows and that. Please respect these. They cost a lot of money, and if anything breaks, then it comes out of our pocket. Fourthly, give archers plenty of room. Plenty of room when they're shooting. We're in lockdown now, so 2 meters apart would be enough. This is so they have the confidence and the room and the ability to focus on the target and the bow and the arrow and everything else that they need. Number 5, fifthly, that's not a word, but number 5, is never dry shoot. Now what I mean by this is if you've got an arrow, or we don't have an arrow, if you've got a bow with no arrow on and you pull it back and you fire, that's dry shooting. That could seriously damage the riser, it could damage the lens, it could damage your arm. Number 6 is never point a bow loaded or unloaded at someone. This is very, very dangerous. If I'm in a club and I see people holding a bow, I expect that bow to be by their side or not in their hand. For example, if I see someone holding their bow and they're doing all this around the room, it's a big no-no again. If you are holding a bow, it should be pointed at the target and nothing else. It can be down by your side or the target. Nowhere else should it be pointing anywhere. Number 7 would be never draw the bow in a dangerous manner. Dangerous shooting could be aiming upwards and pulling back on the bow, going to the side, anywhere direction apart from the target. You see later on how I do it. And lastly is never walk forward of the shooting line. Now, I'm in my back garden at the minute. It's a safe area. My porch and my path, there is a line between the two. If I have friends coming over or family members coming over, then that is my shooting line. No one is allowed past that line while people are shooting. If you go to a centre or you go to a sports hall, then we'll have lines on, we'll have a piece of ribbon, we'll have a piece of rope. That's going to get the shooting line. Now if you cross that shooting line with other people shooting, it can be very dangerous and you could really piss off your coach. Talking from experience. So that's most of the safety rules. Like I said, I could go through them all, but that would just take so much time, but that is the main 8 that I've got at the minute. If you put a quick search into Google for archery clubs, then you'll have a lot of clubs coming up within a 20-mile radius. When I did it, I had Grimsby, Scunthorpe and Hull coming up. With club membership, this is what you pay to be insured to use their bows, equipment, arrows, all the lot. So this can range from £30 to £90 depending on the club and the area. With fees range from £3 to £5. If you are a member, and I get on how to be a member later on, this would half. If you're going into a club and it's £5 per shoot, if you're a member it'll go down to £2.50. Again, that ranges from the different type of clubs you go to. I know that my club does it, and I know a few others does it. Now, to be a member of a club, what you need to do is go onto a beginner's course. This is usually where I come in, and I will either teach you one-to-one or one to a group. With one to a group, it's more relaxed, you know, you're with your friends or your family members sort of thing, and you know, you don't have the pressure of being just by with a coach. You still get the same safety, you still get the same techniques, you still get everything explained to you, but in a more relaxed area. With the beginner's course, you usually get, again, depending on the club you're at, we have 6 lessons, some have 5, some have 7. This is usually between £30 to £50, and once you've done the beginner's course, then we can explain to you how everything goes around that. Now, you can either go with Archery GB. This is usually where you shoot in a club, a centre, you know, in a sports hall. With NFAS, which is normal I do, this is National Field Archery, which you can shoot in the woods or outdoors. They are completely two different. If you have GB Archery over here, then you have NFAS all the way over here. Now, with sessions we have Havagos. These are usually at charity events or community events. This is give you basically a have a go at it. You know, it's most people get involved with archery with these. You know, I know when we did a charity event, a community event in Grimsby, I know they had a few archers coming over and oh, we want to get involved with this. With shops, again, you put a quick search in Google, you know, a load of shops will come up. These can be arranged from actual archery shops or gun shops. So with buying online, it is second-hand, it is cheap, but you don't get a feel for the bow. For example, when I bought my compound, this is a junior compound, so I can take it to clubs and that, so teach other people, and then they get a feel of the compound. When I bought this compound, it was at 20 poundage, you know, 20 draw weight. I've just done it up now to my specs. It's now 26. I can put it back down to 20 when I'm taking to shoots and that. And with historian person as well, you know, in storage and that, there's so many archers there, there's so many other people, and you pick up some great tips. Now, NFAS. NFAS stands for National Field Archery Society. There is membership to pay, like every other club. If you're an adult above the age of 16, then it's £20. If you're under 16, it's £10. And if you want to be an associate, this gives you right to go with other archers who are fully paid onto club shoots and walk with them. This doesn't give you the right to hold a bow or be anywhere near equipment. This is usually £5, bargain. Now scoring, this is where it's going to get complicated, and I really hope you're still with me. Now with scoring, again, as I've already mentioned, if you're going on club shoots, you'll have scoring like this. It starts from 10 all the way to, it starts from 1 all the way to 10. Now with NFAS, which is very, very important, we have cute little bunny rabbits and foxes and stoats and other things like this. Now the inner kill, this bit here, I used to call it pro kill. If you get your first arrow, let me get my arrows out again. See here, they're named. You got the first arrow, the second arrow, and the third arrow. Very important when you do an NFAS. Now if your first arrow hits the pro kill, that's instant 24 points. If it gets in the outer kill, it is 20 points, and if it's the wound area, you get 16. Are you still with me? It's going to get a lot more complicated after this, I'm sorry. The second arrow, if you miss the pro kill, then that classes as just a normal kill, and that is 14 points. If it's in the wound area, it's 10 points. Your third arrow, now don't feel bad about using your third arrow, I still use my third arrow, and I've been doing it for 10 years almost. Again, there's no scoring for this one, it goes into the kill. This is 8 points, and then you've got 4 points for the rest of it. Now, again, don't feel bad about missing it. I still miss things. There was a 6-foot bear this one time at a club, and I missed with every single arrow. Again, this is complicated, so I hope you stay with me. With field archery, you have 5 different types of pegs. You have the red peg, the white peg, the blue peg, the yellow peg, and the orange peg. This is basically for the age ranges. If you're 16 plus, like I was, you shoot your first arrow. Let me use these arrows here differently. You get first arrow from the red peg, second arrow from the white peg, and the third arrow from the blue peg. If you are, if you are 14 to 15, you are a junior. you start your first peg, your first arrow from the white peg, and then your second and third arrow from the blue peg. If you are a 12 to 13-year-old, again you're still a junior, you start your first arrow from the blue peg and your second and third arrow from the yellow peg. If you are under 12, you are classed as a cub and you start all your arrows from the yellow pegs. If you are under 9, you start all your arrows from the orange peg. That's the pegs, all done and dusted. Hope you're still with me, brilliant. In Edfast there's 6 classes. You have the gents, the ladies, the junior boys, junior girls, cub boys and cub girls. And with these you have 11 styles. This is why it takes so long to actually do the scoring. Now, 11 styles. You have the primitive. I don't have a primitive bow with me. This is a bow using natural materials. Long bow, again it's just a wooden long bow. A flat bow, this is usually a just one piece bow. Hunting tackle is usually what I shoot. This is a non-compound bow, with no sights and wooden arrows. This would be hunting tackle. It's got no sights. The bear bow, this is a non-compound bow again, with a single stabilizer. Then we have the bow hunter. This is a compound with no sights. So if I was shooting, I would be shooting bow hunter. It's got no sights on, nothing, it's just plain. Next one is the traditional bow hunter. This is a non-compound bow with no wooden arrows. So you can use carbon, you can use aluminium, something. Freestyle, this is again a non-compound bow with an adjustable sight. For example, oops, it is, hey! This could be freestyle. It's got a sight on, it's adjustable, but it's not compound. So that could be freestyle. Put that down. Next you have compound limited. Now this is a compound bow with 5 fixed sight points. I don't have one at the minute because I don't need one. Then you have the unlimited. This could be any bow you want with all the bells and whistles on. You can have everything on your bow as long as you need it. That's classed as unlimited, and I've seen some amazing bows like that. And then you have crossbow. Again, it's just a crossbow really. Now is what everyone's been waiting for, shooting time. Now I have a technique that I normally shoot with, and it's what I teach with everyone else. Stance. This is 90 degrees to the target. With your leading foot, this is if your bow is in your left hand, like mine is, my left foot is on the shooting line. If it's in the right hand, right foot's on the shooting line. If you're right-handed, then the bow is in your left hand. If you're left-handed, your bow is in your right hand. I do have left and right-handed bows. They are completely the same, but the knocking point is on the other side. Now, once you've got your stance done, make sure you're comfortable, feet apart, shoulder width apart. Don't want to see stuff like this, or things like this. As long as it's shoulder width apart, then you're good and golden. Now, knocking. There is a wrong way and a right way to knock arrows. For example, let me use these buffers. As you probably already tell, there is 2 colours. You've got the double ones, and then the single one. What I normally see is people putting their arrows like so. This is very dangerous and I do not want to see it. This one, the single one, should be facing the archer. That way it does not catch on the arrow rest and does not go flying everywhere else. Your grip on the bow should be a relaxed hand. I don't want to see people gripping it for dear life. It will just lock your elbow and it's the worst thing ever. Now, hold the bow, back a little bit. When you grip the bow, your elbow instantly sticks out. Now that's not what we want to see. You have a relaxed hand, you've got a good straight edge. Your elbow's behind you, you don't want to lock it, because if you lock it, you're probably going to end up string slap, and that is the worst thing you can have in archery. And then you're going to draw. This is a safe manner. Like I said before, in the rules, I do not want to see people shooting dangerously. This is shooting upwards, or shooting down, or shooting everywhere else apart from the target. Now, drawing, use the tips of your fingers. That's all you need. Tips of your fingers on the bow. You don't need in the knuckles like this, you're just on the tips of your fingers. And then you draw. And as you're drawing, you get to the anchor point. Now, not on a boat, but there is anchor in archery as well. This is when you lock the string hand to your face, so every shoot you take, it is in the same place and you get better results. For example, my anchor point is here, and that is where I'll put my fingers every time I want to shoot. My recurve will be a little different, but it's the same anchor point in every single shoot, so again, better results. Then you want to aim. You know, when I set the targets up and check all the equipment, I've already tested it, so I know where to aim. I would aim for the gold, and if I'm below the gold, for example, I'm just get the target out again. If I'm below gold, I would say aim at 12 o'clock blue. If I'm higher, then I would say aim at 6 o'clock red or something like that. Again, I would have already set the targets out, so I know where to aim. Now this ranges from other people. Not everyone is 5'3". And then what you're going to do is release. Now, what I normally see is when people are releasing, they let the hand go and then they let go, sort of thing. I don't want to see that. When I say release, I mean pull through, as in you pull the bow back. I'm not going to do it because I've got an arrow on, so I'm going to put an arrow on there just to show you. Now I want to see, again, loose hand, everything's fine. Now what I see is pull through, so just pull through. There's no pulling it forward, no pulling it back, just let go. Again, so we stance, you've got the arrow in the nock, you know, your hand's in a nice released grip, there's no hank of it. You're going to draw it, you're going to put it to your anchor point, you take aim, and then you pull through, like so. So I want to show you what you would normally do with a recurve. Move them around. You're going to not use them once, bloody hell. Get into it then. Again, these two different colours. I don't want to see stuff like this because that fletching would catch this. Again, it would catch and it would go in any blue direction other than the thing. So the opposite colour to everything else needs to be facing the archer. Again, that's what the knocking point does. It keeps it from going up and down. Again, stance, no 90 degrees to the target. You knock the arrow. You grip it in a very loose grip. Bows like this can be very heavy, so if it is heavy, then I suggest in a smaller bow. But yeah, very, very loose grip. You're going to draw it. You're going to aim it. Again, there's my anchor point, and then you let go. The difference between recurve and compound is when I was doing my compound, as you noticed, I could hold that as long as I needed to. With a recurve, all that tension is into your fingers. My fingers kind of stinging at the minute, I've just done that. Big difference, but we do recommend you starting off with a recurve so you know the jigs of it. For example, I have a family member of mine who got a 40-pound compound bow and thought because he could pull it back he could get a 40-pound recurve. That is not the case. With a recurve, you have all the momentum and all the tension in your little fingers. After a while, it does start hurting. With a compound, like I keep saying, the tension gets into cams, so I can hold that there as long as I needed to. Another thing I want to say, once you've shot your arrows, two things. One, never run towards them. Never, ever, ever run towards your arrows when you're getting them out of the target. And second, never walk towards them directly. Always, always, always walk to the side of the target. That way, if anything happens, then you're not going to go face first into them. That is basically it. I'll do a bit more shooting to show the different types and different styles. this is classed as a score of 23. That's all good and dandy if you're in a club. Now, I've just shot again with my compound, and I've got this. 2 arrows ended up in the kill area, and my first arrow ended up in the wound. Now, because field arrow is completely different to club shooting, because my first arrow ended up in the wound area, that's classed as 16. Despite me getting 2 more in the kill area, the first arrow counts. So if I miss this entire little bunny rabbit and I shot again, and my first arrow got here, my second arrow got here because I missed my first arrow, my second arrow got here, then that would have counted. But if you're unsure, if it's on the line, for example, if it's like just on the outer edge here, you can shoot a second arrow or a third arrow until you actually get a kill. So again, because that's my first arrow, that's my score, despite me hitting right here as well. The complications of infast, amazing. Now, I asked a lot of you people, if you have any questions about archery. The questions I already got was, why do you teach archery? Well, personally, I teach archery because I see people gain so many new skills through it. I see people improve their focus and their coordination. I see people say to me, it's a form of meditation, it's a workout. Especially when you're walking around woods and that. It teaches dedication and patience. It gains confidence and self-esteem. And it's a very good goal setter sport. Saying that, all these skills can be used in everyday life. For example, if you have, let's take goal setting for example. You're walking to the hall or centre and you say, I'm going to go try and hit gold today. I want to hit gold in 3 hours. 3 hours. Something. And you do manage, you manage to hit the gold. That gives you a sense of achievement. Then you say to yourself, okay, next week when I go again, I'm going to hit 2 hours in the gold. The following week, I'm going to hit 3 hours in the gold. That's dedication to try again. If you can try again with that, then you can try again with everything else that you're trying to do with your life. You practice with patience and focus and confidence. These are the skills that you can use in every single day of life, that you can use everywhere and anywhere. If you have an assignment to write, it helps you with that. If you have a meeting or an interview to prepare for, you have the patience and focus to do it. With me, I absolutely love teaching. If I can teach a new skill to someone, then I'm all for it. But I find archery one of the most easiest sports to teach. Mostly because I have over a decade worth of experience with it. But I've seen people go from really, really unconfident people, who struggle with everyday life and that, trying archery out, becoming some of the best archers I've seen, and all that because of the dedication they have, because they've practiced patience and focus and coordination. Like all these skills are absolutely worthwhile, and if you can try archery, then please do, because you will be a completely different person. It's written down because there's so many of them. But coordination, guys, you've got loads. So the first question I got asked is, how did I get into archery? Well, the thing is with that, it was about 10 years ago, 11 years ago now. Me and my dad wanted to do something together. And we found this archery club, and then we ended up going there. Then it just turned out me going, and then my dad came along, my granny came along, my sisters and brothers came along, sort of thing. So it was like a big family thing. Then I moved from Doncaster to where I am now. And we kind of one of those things that didn't really appeal to us anymore. And then I found a club in Grimsby, and I went back again. And my love for archery just continued with that. The second one is, do I have to be physically fit to do it? No. When I first started, I would run up the stairs and be absolutely knackered. I couldn't run a mile, I couldn't ride a bike, I couldn't swim, I wasn't physically fit in any case. Even despite me being super bloody thin at the time, I was out of breath all the time. So you do not have to be physically fit to try it. Number 3, can you shoot in the rain? Yes, you can shoot in the rain, and it is the best time to go shooting. Again, what I've said about the arrows, with feather arrows, they tend to weigh a lot more when shooting in the rain. Usually people have bikes over them, or they have covers for them. But it is actually a really good thing to do. Actually, if you do go into field archery, ask the club about it, about joining infast, You know, if you do go into field archery, then you have a range of different elements, you have a range of different types in terrain and all this to go over. It's absolutely brilliant. Number 4 is, how long will it take to be a good archer? However long it takes. I've been doing it now for 10 years and I still miss targets. You know, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a good archer, I wouldn't say I'm a great archer, I wouldn't say I'm a bad archer. I'm just an archer. If you believe you're a good archer, then you're a good archer. There's no bad archers though, none of them. Number 5 is, should I focus on the sight or the target? I have never shot bows with sights on. I wanted to, but I never could get the hang of it. But from what I've heard from other people, what you do with when using sights and targets is you use sort of like a third eye. Then you should be able to see the type, sight and the target at the same time, and that's what I'm focused on. Again, I've never really shot with sights, so I wouldn't know. Which arrows are best, carbon or aluminium? Now, with carbon arrows, yes, they're a little bit more expensive, but they're durable. With aluminium arrows, as you've probably already seen, they bend an awful lot. That is straight on, by the way. Now, they bend an awful lot. But if you take care of them and don't hit trees like most people do, again, there's another one, way off, really bent, then I would say aluminium. Next is, which bows are best, recurve or compound? I should probably already tell when I'm shooting recurve. I draw it and then let go as soon as I've got the target. With compound, I take a little bit longer. Again, because of the tension is in the cams and not in your fingertips. So personally, I would go with compound, even though I shoot recurve all the time. And the last question is, my kid is interested, when can he start shooting? I have taught kids from the age of 4 upwards. If he feels comfortable holding a bow, sort of thing, and be able to listen to other people, then by all means, take him to a club, we'll teach him up. Like I say, archery is just, you know, a great spot to be in. You know, the community is great. You know, we have people from the age of 4 up to 90-year-olds. You know, we've got people of different backgrounds, people of different genders, people of different races and all that. It's absolutely an amazing community to be in. Something, like I said before, you know, there is no bad archers. I'm yet to meet one. You know, if you're at a club and you've hit one gold, we'll congratulate you. If you hit the target, we'll congratulate you. There's none of this, I've shot 3 better than you, I've got a better score than you. There's none of that. Well, interested in archery, then please go look for the club in your local area. If you are in the Grimsby area, pop down, I'll be able to teach you everything I know. Like I said, because we're on lockdown at the minute, this is the best you've got. But as soon as it's over, I'll go into more detail once I'm back at the centre and I have all my equipment.